Hi everybody, this is Engberson with Racing English. Let's get started. Last weekend was the NASCAR Sprint Cup race at Texas Motor Speedway, and not necessarily surprisingly, Kyle Busch won the race, his second Sprint Cup win in a row, and also his second weekend sweep in a row. At the moment, he and his team are looking pretty much unstoppable, but it is early going in the season. Things are certainly going to change. I mean, just look how dominant Kevin Harvick was early last year. If anything, he had a better start to his season than Kyle Busch, and he ended up losing the championship. So Kyle's name is not on the trophy yet. Also, Martin Truex Jr. had far and away the strongest run of his season so far. He led, I think the figure was 170 laps, give or take, and that car was extremely strong. It's just the pit call was not the right decision at the end of the race. I think Cole Pearn was in a no-win situation with that, whether to pit or not to pit, and that ended up losing them the race, unfortunately. It seems like that 78 team in Martin, they're very good speed, but they really have a lot of trouble closing out the deal and and getting the job done. And probably one of the bigger stories from this race was Chase Elliott. He had a gear change and had to start last after qualifying fourth, and ended up finishing fifth. And actually, what wasn't shown on TV was he was fourth up until the last lap, and then Jimmy Johnson was able to get around him. But that team had their best run of the year so far. I would not be surprised to see Chase Elliott winning in the near future. The next race is going to be Bristol on April 17th, and basically one of the Joe Gibbs cars is going to win. You take a pick. Probably Kyle Busch because he's got momentum on his side, and he's running the Xfinity race. Carl Edwards has been very strong there. Matt Kenseth won there, and Denny Hamlin's one of the strongest short track drivers. So expect one of those guys to win. Formula One did not have a race last weekend, but there are a few storylines going into the race this weekend in China. First off, they will revert to the older qualifying format from last year. I think this is a good move because I watched qualifying and the new format they just tried it and it really didn't work. And also, this weekend, Fernando Alonso has been cleared to drive in free practice 1, and then after that first practice, they're going to do some more tests on him to see if he's fit to race. He should be good to go. And probably one of the bigger storylines is Lewis Hamilton had suffered gearbox damage in Bahrain, so he will incur a 5-position grid penalty for changing a gearbox. So the highest he can start is 6th, and that's his best case scenario. And considering the high Nico Rosberg's on, I think Nico's pretty much got the win in the bag as long as he doesn't make a major mistake. Now, the next race is April 17th in China, and Nico's pretty much unstoppable at the moment. Also at Texas Motor Speedway was the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and probably one of the least surprising moments in motorsports history, Kyle Busch won. This was his 4th win of the year. Probably should be his 5th win in a row because he had the win. He did a great job at Auto Club Speedway, and the tire blew on him. And he is at the top of his game right now, and he's going to be very tough to beat, and certainly in the Xfinity Series, and it's translating on Sunday. Seems like running the Xfinity truck races is really helping him out. And Erik Jones closed in on his teammate Daniel Suarez for the points lead after Suarez had his toughest race of the year. He really struggled throughout most of the race, spinning out at one point, whereas Erik Jones finished second, recovering from, I think he got put at the back because one of his crew members was over the wall too soon, and that set him behind, but he was able to drive right back up to the front. In fact, he was actually able to get the lead away from Kyle Busch at one point. This weekend is the first Dash for Cash race, and more often than not, that's not a big deal. But this weekend, NASCAR is trying out heat races for these 4 Dash for Cash weekends. And basically how it's going to work is they're going to qualify like normal. The odd qualifiers are going to race in one heat, and the even qualifiers are going to race in another heat. And I think it's going to be 20-lap heats, and top 2 Xfinity regulars in each heat become eligible for the Dash for Cash. And in the main event, the top finisher of those 4 gets a $100,000 bonus. I'll be interested to see how it works because honestly, it doesn't pay the heat races don't pay points, so I'd be surprised to see people going bananas, because if you tear up your car in the heat race and can't run in the main, that's a disaster. So I'll be interested to see how the racing is. But I think it is the right direction for NASCAR, because with these heat races, they're also shortening the main event. And I think that's the next step for NASCAR to make it more, to increase their popularity, is to have just shorter races. Leave the big races alone, but make in general. What I would do is have 300-mile Sprint Cup races, 250 Xfinity races, and 200-mile truck races. I think that'd be a very good balance. And the next race is in Bristol on April 16th. Basically, I'd bet a month's salary that Kyle Busch will win again. He's won, I think it's 8 Xfinity races, but it could be as many as 10. He's been so dominant there lately. The only guy who's beat him anytime in the last few years was Joey Logano, but Kyle Busch is going to be really tough to beat. If I had to pick an Xfinity regular who's going to challenge him, it's probably going to be Eric Jones, because he ran Bristol twice last year, one Xfinity and one truck race. He finished 4th and 6th respectively in those races. He appears to be at the top of his game right now. He's going to be tough to beat for all the Xfinity regulars, and after that tough start in Daytona, he is making good strides towards the championship lead. This has been another episode of Racing English. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.